Right, so yeah, we we had a woman who got herself in the shit this year, and she begged us, or basically to take her in and try and get her out of this crap. She's got a daughter. She's 36 years old, and got involved in drugs and alcohol and fucking gangs and gang associates and that sort of shit. Got herself threatened, and some woman was going to beat her up because she was taking some other bloke off her, and it's freaking crap. Anyway, she had the court remove her daughter from her, and the stories about how they were wrong and everybody was against her, and there was all this happening and some other thing happening, and the dramas and the bullshit that went on was just incredible, really. And we watched it for a year. We gave her a place to stay, a room, and basically she didn't have to pay stuff all if she could help it. We had a stipulation on it, though, that she gets a job and starts putting her life back together again. So it's interesting to see that stipulation went out the window, because the last thing that she did was get a job. She basically went through every piece of denial and way of not getting a job that you could possibly think of, and I'm pretty sure most of it was just dreamed up. And I found that the biggest problem of it all was that she was on the domestic purposes benefit. So the domestic purposes benefit was paying her something like $370 or so. Well, I don't even know if that's true, but it was certainly a fair whack of money for absolutely nothing. And she had no custody of her child. And to be perfectly honest, at the end of the whole thing, not having custody of the child was the best thing that I could see that could possibly ever have happened. The daughter was only 4 years old, pretty little girl, and I tell you what, if that mother had got hold of her and had her as in custody, the gangs would have had her in no time. The mother was just a total and utter loser, complete and utter loser. But I wonder, what the hell is the government doing, giving them huge amounts of cash and just letting them do whatever they like? And when they come up with some sort of sob story, and it's basically fanciful sob story shit, dreamed up from, I don't think even a scriptwriter could come up with some of it. And one of the most interesting things I heard about towards the end there was, we said if you haven't got a job you can get going. Halfway through, that's done with you, where you can't stay here anymore. And then she went away and stayed with these other people, and then came back to us telling us about this story about this guy who had a van, and the other father of another girl that was staying there was selling his daughter to this guy in this van, and she is ringing the police and getting them to run round after her all over the place and go to court and make these affidavits up, and I very much doubt any of it was true. I'm absolutely certain that none of that was true. So it begs the question is, what happened to that poor bastard who got accused of doing something that It just isn't the fact. And where is the proof? There was just no proof. But funnily enough, everybody seemed to believe it and hand her out piles of money that she just took away and spent on drugs and alcohol. And getting strange guys to pick her up at 10 o'clock at night and 11 o'clock at night and 12 o'clock at night and 1 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the morning and getting dropped off at 4 a.m. and like, none of this is reality. It's not what normal people do. And I wonder why our governments are actually giving them any money at all. They should be providing proof that they require the money and handing in the receipts on what it's being spent on. I'm working my ass off towards the end of life, and the tax money is getting blown on people like this, and our hospitals are going down the toilet, our doctors, the police system, the roading, everything is going down the toilet, and yet these ones get away with being paid untold amounts of money for telling lies and stories about shit that just isn't true. So anyway, I said, you've got till January and that's it. You're getting out of this house. You're going to go out. And when it got towards that point, she went off the rails and we kicked her out, literally threw her out and all that shit in the driveway as well. And that's probably the best thing that could have happened, and it should have happened a long time ago. But I'm quite a firm believer in giving people a chance to actually show you that they are worthy of help. And boy, that's a real failure. I'm pretty sure that this story can be repeated 100 times, and they're just getting away with literally everything, and they shouldn't be allowed to do that. So, yep, that was another part of the interesting bit that happened this year, and we've kicked that to the curb. The funny bit about it is that, or the sad bit about it, is that nobody in our house will ever help her or anybody else again. And that's the end of that.